In this tutorial, we're going to get into some frame-by-frame animation and just kind of go over some of these hotkeys that'll probably be useful when you're doing this. So the first one, we're going to just jump into a new project. You can just do a File, New, and you can use any size that you would like to, but I'm going to just go with the HD size on there. So I'm just doing this HD 1280 by 720. But if you want to use something different, that's fine. So I'll go ahead and just click create. And that should build my project. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab a shape, just something simple. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of draw that. So and I'm just going to kind of draw a little face maybe, just to get it a little bit more on there. Nothing too fancy, because we're just going to do some simple frame-by-frame animation on this little guy. Okay, so I've got my character, and then I'm going to go ahead and just grab my selection tool up here, and I'm going to go ahead and press F6 on my keyboard. You could also go up to Insert, Timeline, and just go to keyframe right there. And what that does, that down here at the bottom, it creates a keyframe. So once I do that, then I'll go ahead and just grab it and just kind of move it a little bit, nothing too far, and then just kind of keep going up to either that and insert a keyframe, and then just kind of go from there. So, and I'm just going to do F6 now because it's a lot quicker. So F6, kind of move it, F6, 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 move it. And if you kind of scrub back here, you can kind of see the movement. One thing to kind of keep in mind is for every 30 frames per second, so till about here, that's 1 second. So if I come in here and do an F6 and then move it way over here, that's going to be a big jump, and it's going to almost be kind of like a glitch. But if you want to do that, you can do that. So F6, move it, F6, move it, F6, move it, F6, move it a little bit more. F6, you could also come up here if you wanted to kind of stretch it. F6, stretch it, F6, stretch, F6, stretch, and you can kind of see that animation. So it's definitely a little glitchy, and if you mess up on any of that, so maybe I said, oh, that's not turning out the way I want it to, you can come back down here and you can either right mouse click and remove frames, or you can press Shift F5, and that'll remove some frames. Or you can go back and do a whole bunch if you want to do the remove frames that way and just kind of get back to where it was going and everything. Okay, so the goal with this is just to kind of create a simple animation, nothing too spectacular. Maybe go out to about 100 frames and see kind of what you can kind of come up with. So I'm just kind of F6ing it. Let me go back in and start to stretch them out. I mean, you could also add some color to it. Maybe on this frame I want to click and then change the color of it. So you could kind of see that happen, and then just kind of keep F6ing and just kind of play with that. Maybe at the end here, 6, maybe I'll kind of grab parts of it and start to kind of pull them apart. And then kind of grab that. And just kind of have fun with it. Once you start doing some of this, it gets a little bit more complicated because now I'm dealing with multiple parts. If you double click on those parts, sometimes it's easier to grab it. Just kind of pull, and I start to kind of get that to go. So and then if you want to play, you can also click on the play button, and that'll kind of jump through your frame-by-frame animation.